Okay, today I am going to teach you about Rubric 3, which corresponds to Section 2 of the AP Seminar End of Course exam. Now, the first category is selecting and using evidence. This category is worth 6 points. This category simply states that you need at least 2 sources. You can have more than 2 sources if you want to have more than 2 sources. I don't recommend it, though. This category also asks you to interpret and synthesize information, which means that you aren't repeating the information in your sources, you are instead gathering the information in your head and then creating new ideas that you put in your paper. Now, the second category in Rubric 3 is building and communicating an argument. This basically says that you have to create a response that is logically organized and complex. Use transition words. Clearly link your argument and your evidence. And the only difference between getting 4 points in this section and getting 6 points in this section is that you make insights based on your connections between your arguments and your evidence. Moving on to the next category, which is understanding and analyzing perspective. This category asks you to identify the difference between your sources. You should probably grab sources that have 2 separate perspectives on the issue. You also must connect your perspectives and sources to a theme that is present in your argument. You also must add a perspective that hasn't been previously represented by either of your sources. This may be your own perspective or it may not. The next one is selecting and using evidence again. This time it is only worth 3 points, and it states that you must contextualize the evidence from your sources. Basically just saying when your author was writing this, what your author had to do with it, and what was happening in the world around them. The next category is grammar and style. It's also worth 3 points. It's basically just don't misspell anything. You're allowed some errors, but it should be pretty simple to get a 3 in this category.
Now, here's an activity you can try to help improve the skills you need to develop in order to do well on the end-of-course exam. The purpose of this activity is to demonstrate your ability to gather reliable evidence with different perspectives using the tips mentioned earlier. In groups or individually, decide on a relevant issue present today, for example, junk food in schools, and using the internet, find evidence from at least 2 different perspectives that support your argument regarding the issue. Also, don't forget to connect your perspectives with the main idea. Using the previous example, here are some perspectives. A parent that wants their child to eat good food wouldn't want schools to sell junk food in order to keep their child healthy. While on the other hand, a businessman trying to sell junk food to schools would want schools to buy more product because that means more profit. As for the connection, we can infer that the businessman would want to appeal to the parent because they are essentially paying for the child's food. Once you've come up with your own examples, go ahead and share your information with others, or if you're by yourself, reflect on how well you think you did, following the guidelines mentioned earlier.
And that is it for Section 2 of the AP Seminar exam. Good luck.